Om Shanti. Thank you, Aishagur. Can you hear me properly? Yes? Okay. Okay, so this topic has always been of my interest, how to manage time. Because, yes, as you said, I came to this spiritual path when I was very young, and I finished my studies, I did my career, I started working, and also helping in Baba service in different places. So yes, for a long time now, I don't have, I don't work as such, but yes, I am very busy. I don't like to say busy because Dadi Janki has always taught us that it was not a question of being busy, but of using our time in a worthwhile way. So that was very, very good for me to listen to that. And what I would like to do with you today is to share my experience and some realizations I've had regarding this topic. And I took some notes, otherwise in this topic I may just jump from here to there, and so just to have something to follow for myself, because since long I think I've liked to enjoy doing things, and then I realized that it was not about enjoying doing, but enjoying being while doing. Then I changed many different things in me, not in the outside, but in myself. And what I discovered was, and once I read about it, that time is the only asset that we all have the same amount. We all have 24 hours. So it's not that one have more and one has less. And perhaps it was so important to me because once I realized I don't have anything in this physical world, I don't possess anything. The only thing that I possess.
Sorry, I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but may I just say that please slow down a little bit?
Right, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And also I'm a translator myself, so I know how it is. So yes, I was saying that we all have the same amount of time. So what it makes it difference is what do I do with that time that I have. And when we listen to Baba saying like this recently, we also hear that Baba is Praneshwar, like the Lord of life, the one that gives us life. And for me, prana, which is, yes, it's life, it's like we breathe, but it's also time. It's time. When we talk about time, it's about life. What do I do with my life? And how important it is 1 second, how important it is just 1 minute. And when we listen from Baba that everything takes a second, and liberation in life in 1 second, so it's just like that, and the second has already passed by. So but again, it's not about being fast, but knowing where I want to go. I may be very fast going somewhere, but perhaps that's not the place I want to go. So it's so good to realize what is my purpose, what is my aim, what are my priorities, and how am I using my time? How am I wasting my time? It's not only about the way I want to use my time, but yes, but also to acknowledge, to see, to realize in what ways am I losing my time. So once I sat with myself and I was talking to myself saying, what is important to me? And I was not talking about having a very high top aim or objective, but in day-to-day life, what is it that I want? And so I think also Baba says it very clearly to us when we listen to the Murli, when we listened to any of the classes. There are certain things, this was my priority, certain things that I don't want to miss. So no matter how busy we may be, I think that for all of us, Amrit Bela, early morning meditation, Murli, traffic control to stop several times during the day, and evening meditation. That's what it needs to be there. I said to myself, okay, then other things I may want to adjust that. And even it happens many times that the time for evening meditation, there may be other programs, there may be lectures, courses, whatever. So then I thought, what can I do? I don't have that half an hour. Many days I can't sit. I'm talking to you from my experience. So I said, okay, this is the time, right? So whatever am I doing from 7 to 7:30 p.m., I want that, whatever it is, I want to experience connection with Baba. I just want to experience silence, and I want that to be something really of importance to me. And then, yes, I may sit later on, but at least these timings are those that whatever it may happen, this will always be there. That was my priority. I think it's all of us, right? And so what do I do in between? I liked when Daddy Janki once said that whatever we are doing, it's because we are creating our fortune. So it's not about things. It's about how do I create my fortune? Because again, it's not what task am I doing, but how am I doing that task? Where is my mind and my heart while I am doing that? And when I used to go to work, I really enjoyed working. And sometimes I share this with others and not everyone understands me, because what I think is that whatever we do, wherever we are as Baba's children, we just need to be happy and enjoying whatever we are doing. And of course, there will be obstacles, there will be situations and tests to face, whatever, of course. But how we would learn, how we would progress if we wouldn't do that, if those tests wouldn't come to us. So then time as Baba's children, it shouldn't be about having or about doing, but about being. And when I get up, many times I think, okay, yes, we say good morning, Baba, we sit to meditate, but even after that, what I want to do today? And it's not about tasks, it's about inner attitude. And whenever, if I'm talking to someone, or I know that I will be somewhere talking about something, it's the topic, it's not the only important thing, but how do I see myself there and what type of feelings I want people to experience. Even if I am in a business meeting, I am going somewhere for doing anything. So it's not about that. That's the excuse for me to practice something and to share that to others. Just a simple example. Just today, there was a sister from India that was in Barcelona for a few hours, and she came and had lunch with us, and we had a nice time together. We were chatting and sharing experiences. But when she came by taxi to the center, and the taxi driver said he couldn't speak English, and he asked us, another sister and myself, who is she? I felt so relaxed while I was driving this lady. And we were laughing, and I just gave him a leaflet of what we do here. And he said, I don't know if I will be coming, but what I know is what I felt today. And I was translating to this sister saying, okay, this is what he's saying. And I thought, this is so nice. Sometimes some PKs think that to do service means to talk about whatever the knowledge we know, but it's not only about the knowledge, but the vibrations we spread. And regarding perception, I realized once I like before giving a lecture to say to the people, okay, let's start with one moment of silence. This is what I normally say now. Before, I used to say, let's do 1 minute of silence. But you will not be watching at the watch, right? Whilst at that moment. So once I was saying, okay, I don't know, perhaps 30 seconds have gone by, perhaps 2 minutes have gone by. When we are in that deep experience of soul consciousness, because the soul is eternal, time has a different perception. So I was laughing at myself later saying, okay, I will not say this anymore. I will just say, let's have a moment of silence. No matter the length of that particular moment. So the perception, it's different according to how am I inside. And I also, I was interested for a while to know about the difference, perhaps you've listened to this, between chronos and kairos. These are two Greek words. The chronos is the account of time that this thing does, okay? But the kairos is the perception I have about time. So that for me was an eye-opener, that yes, it's not only about this physical time, but inner vibration and inner expression on living that particular moment. I want to share with you different things that I think that after this, or whenever you have time, you may want to explore about you. One important thing for me is, let me enjoy while I'm doing whatever thing I'm doing. If I see myself not enjoying, then what does it mean? It may mean that I am tired. Perhaps I don't really want to do that. Or perhaps I think, why is it me that always has to do this? You know, but like a measurement for me to know about how I am is when I see myself enjoying whatever needs to be done. If it's cleaning, it's cleaning. If it's being with you, it's being with you. If it's cooking or going shopping or anything, am I enjoying when I'm doing whatever I am doing? Another aspect is the experience of doing one thing after another. It's obvious, but okay, if one situation comes here in front of me, okay, I will deal with this and I let that go. Another thing that comes to me, and then that goes. What happens many times? That the second thing came to me, but I'm still thinking of whatever has happened before. And I don't know if you've had the experience of having your head like almost exploding. And those moments when there is no more room for anything. Have you ever had that experience? So once I had that experience, and then I was talking to my brain, I never had this thought before. And I said, okay, sorry, I don't want to give you so much pressure. I just want to give you happiness. You are so helpful to me. You are managing this body. So I will try my best to not give you extra work. And that moment, I could differentiate the mind and the brain. When the mind is, as Baba is saying to us, it's a faculty of the soul. But it's my responsibility to not give pressure to myself. I may complain and say, but it's because of this one, it's because of that one, or this person gave me this to do, or I had to, you know, it's so easy to complain, but others are not the guilty ones. I'm not also guilty one, but I am the one that has the responsibility to decide what do I want to use my thoughts for. So this, I tell myself, okay, one thing after the other. And then also, where is Baba in all this? In my day-to-day routine, where is Baba? Baba is only there when I sit to meditate and I say, yes, okay, Baba, I am here. And that's good, that's great. But whilst I'm doing things, do I do that thing with Baba because he's with me and I hold his hand and I go shopping, or I do this, or I do that? But if certain amount of time goes by and then I think, oh, where was Baba? It's not, again, his fault, it's myself. Also, Baba talks quite often about remembering and forgetting. So I see that if I'm remembering what I need to be forgetting, or if I forget what I should be remembering, then I don't feel happy with me, right? So I think that all this has to do with loving ourselves and see that that I am the one that is the master of my life. We are here because we practice Raja Yoga, right? So we are all Raja Yogis, Raja Yoginis, right? So if I consider myself that, that means that I am the one that has the mastery, and has the mastery over time, has the mastery of my life. So who owns my time? And in this topic, it also comes how to say no and when to say no. In a spiritual world where we are taught to always say what? To always say Haji. So here we have Baba saying, okay, children, say Haji. And we say, yes, Baba, Haji, Baba, yes, yes. And then we question, at least I talk to myself, I question to myself, okay, but there are certain moments when I need to say no. Then when is it? And it's not bad to say no. Actually, it's very good to say no. So I made a little list of things that I really want to say no. So I would say no to distractions, no to attractions, no to addictions. And it may be a distraction or it may be an addiction. This little thing I have with me, and I'm sure most of you also have with you most of the time, right? So it's good to give, also if we have an agenda, also I said once to myself, okay, sometimes I go for an evening walk, and okay, I will leave this here. I don't want to go with it in this walk. Suddenly this thought came, oh, but I may need it. If something happens, I will not be able to call anyone. I said, but look, what will happen? When I was young, long back, we didn't have it. And we all survived, right? And now I see that even for myself, it's like, okay, let me just answer messages. Let me answer messages. I also do things. Okay, I will answer this. Now I will give it a rest. And after 2 hours, I will answer whatever is there. After 3 hours, I will answer whatever is there. I've discovered once I was sending a message in another part of the world. And then soon after, I received a reply. Then I answered back. And then, you know, perhaps I'm being naughty, but you know what I do sometimes? When it's not really that important, when it's not that urgent, I may not answer immediately. Because if I do, they will answer back immediately asking for a quick answer from me. So it's like, okay, how do I want to manage myself? To manage my time has to do with managing myself. And then also what to do with interruptions. We all have interruptions, right? Sometimes we create those distractions. Sometimes interruptions just come to us. So I think it's good not to fight with them, because I also see, oh, I wanted to listen to this class, but this happened, and then, but this is like fighting. No? This is not nice feeling, nice way of treating to yourself. But okay, it's also good, I think, to give some time for whatever I didn't know that it could happen today. If I create an agenda for every single moment of this day, and something extra comes, then, oh, I will say, oh no, Baba, no, now not this. But if I see, it depends, of course, it depends on the nature of that interruption. But let's see that there is someone calling to you crying, you know. So whom that person will call? To you, to someone that he or she feels you are stable. So I think that this is also that we need to be prepared, to be ready. When Baba says, okay, let's be ever ready, we need to be ever ready. We think, yes, Baba, yes, ever ready for you, for this. But am I ever ready to accept any other thing that was not in my plan? I cannot say to that lady that is crying, I'm sorry, call tomorrow. I could, or if I can't, I really can't at that moment, I may say to someone else, could you please talk to this person, you know? But we also need this power to discern at that moment what is best. If we see that, yes, we are Raja Yogis, as I was saying, but we are also servers. And a server is ready. And Baba is up there, no? So he will not just come. He will use the instruments. We are all his instruments, so that we can also give some time to someone. But again, quality time. It's not about long time. And I've seen Daddy, again, I mentioned Daddy, talking long time to some souls, but also I've seen Daddy going into the essence with some souls. So we also, I don't know what is your experience, but if with some we are talking more than what it may be needed, there may be some familiarity or perhaps some gossiping, or, you know, so we need to know, where do I want to be involved and in what way? And again, it needs to do with my priorities, that different things will happen, but where do I want to be, and how that is a way of loving or not loving myself according to how do I observe the thoughts I'm having, the feelings I have. And one question, do I get bored if after having so many murlis, so much wisdom, so many things to go into the depth, am I getting bored sometimes? If I am, for example, I see some, yes, all these social media, they are really useful for service and they are really useful. I've connected with one of my school friends when I was very young, and that was such so good things. That person contacted me, and now she's in contact with the BKs, and so that was a good discovery. So social media really has a good purpose, but am I losing my time in those things? And then when I am bored, I am just attracted to those things. So it's also a question. If I am bored, I can't be happy. When I am happy, I am not bored. Are you? So it's so important to just sit with yourself quite often and talk to yourself. How are you? What perhaps could be different in you? What is of your interest now? And again, where is Baba in your life now? And I would like to share certain things that I watched in the Dadis. I remember long back when we went to Madhuban, and that in those moments when there was not even Gyan Sarovar, only Panda Pavan was there. Those of you that have been to Madhuban, it was quite common to just go and say good morning to Daddy Prakashmani, Daddy Manohar, Daddy Janki, and they perhaps Daddy, I remember Daddy Prakashmani was having her tea, or just, and she was so relaxed having that tea, and you know, so much responsibility. Those were the years where I'm talking about the 80s, 90s. So much expansion had happened. And there she was, just having her tea, morning tea, giving time to herself, and all, not only for herself, but inviting us to be in her room and also being available. We always talk about how Daddy, when she would sit after class, after Murli, in the courtyard, just there, available. You could go and say hello, good morning, like that, as if she would have nothing to do. And of course she had things to do, but that was the important thing of doing nothing, just being available. And this being available, it's so good. If we do that, we feel so good when we feel available. And then, of course, also in jobs, in the house, in the service at the center, it's also important to delegate. And it's also good not to want to know everything. many things that I don't know. I asked this brother, how is this? Where is this tool? Where is that? You know, who is doing that? Oh, I don't know everything. And you know what? I don't want to know everything. And this has been my protection. I'm talking from my experience that at the beginning, when I was involved in service, my tendency would be to control, you know, this, how is this, how is that, so that everything is under control. And then I thought that was okay, everything was fine. But then I was not happy with myself. And so then, and things also happen, and you learn that you need to let go. And you need to, it's whenever we say yes, we also say yes, that's to the possibility of making mistakes, and that's fine. That allows us to grow. And so for me, all this is like a way of, how do I love myself? How do I value myself? When someone loves another one, would give, he or her would give time, right, to that person that you love. So how much time do I give to myself? If I don't have time to sit with myself, then would that mean that I don't love myself? And let me tell you something. We are all using these tools like Zoom and classes here and there and everywhere, and we are all enjoying that. I really appreciated this last weekend that there were these amazing programs of the reopening of GRC in Oxford, you know, so many things that keep us all connected, which is fantastic. And it's also as important to listen to ourselves, to have conversations with ourselves, to, okay, if you've liked something, a class or Murli, just sit with yourself, go into the depth of it, just read it once more. How does it resonate with you? That what change do you think you could implement if you would do that, you know? Because, okay, we could be, before this spiritual knowledge, we could be involved in other things, not having time for ourselves. And now, if we are not, if we don't have like a timing for ourselves, it could happen the same thing when we just become consumers of so many classes, and I don't want to miss this and that. And but then, when do I sit myself with me? And yeah, I like to sit with myself with a cup of coffee. I sit with me and just be there, relax, like nothing to do, and just, and for me, this has taught me many things, has taught me many things, when to do, when not to do. And all this has to do with time, but especially it has to do with loving ourselves. Another example I want to share with you, once, I think it was in Gyan Sarovar, and Brother Nirvair was coming to give us a class. And those of you that know him, you could see how he always, you know, enter the hall so peacefully and slowly, and he sat and he said, oh, you know what, I was wishing to come to this class. No, he didn't mention the word class. I just wanted to be with you all. And, you know, for me, that it was like, it was not that he was going to give a class. He was just being himself, sharing with the family. I love that. To do things in that awareness, even like a way for him to rest. That was the time when global hospital had been built and other big projects. So he, Brother Nirver, he was really, really involved in many meetings, many decisions, many things. And for him, just to be there was like doing nothing. And I thought of it so many times. If at some point I may be like too many things or tired, whatever, I would just remember this example and just keep enjoying the moment. Just enjoy the moment. And again, about him, I remember someone asking him, you know, brother, sometimes I feel I don't have time, but I think that I have to do this, but my head is really hurting me, or like that. And like, I can't have yoga, you know, these type of questions. And Brother Nirvel, looked at him saying, you know, brother, what you have to do is just to go to sleep, and next day you will be fine. And I liked that, because it's not about deep things, but just being sensible, being sensible, yes, being sensible in, okay, what do I need? If I just need an early night, let me go to bed earlier. That's fine. It's not that I'm losing my time, but also, and with this, I will finish and I will guide some thoughts for us to meditate. Is that okay? And then there can be some questions and answers. The last minutes before falling asleep, the last minutes, where is my soul? Where am I at? Where am I at that particular moment? And you have to find your own way. I share with you mine. In front of, when I'm in my bed, there is a picture of Brahma Baba, and I think it was during Mama's Day last year. I put a nice photo I found of Mama. So both photos are there. So I just looked at them, say, okay, how am I with this day? And also asking them. And then I say, okay, now, Om Shanti, good night. And it's so important, in what awareness am I finishing the day? In what awareness am I starting the day? And then again, it's not about what am I doing, but how I am when I have this golden chance of creating my fortune. In whatever, it's not only that I am creating my fortune if it's Baba's service, because it means something at the center. No. Wherever I am, it's Baba's service. Wherever I am there because Baba needs me there. If there may be, I want some change, okay. Perhaps another place is better for me at that moment, I don't know. But just see how I am when I am doing. And then we keep learning. So let me just give you some thoughts now. We could have short meditation, and then if there are some questions, then we could do that. Let me now just be with me. In the silence that is there in the core of my being. Nothing else, no one else, just me. And from here, from this quiet space, I can't connect with the Supreme, with the Divine. I've been looking for so many birds, but here I am now, having this golden fortune of sharing my life with God Himself. Every moment, it's a golden chance for me to grow. Every moment, it's a golden chance for me to change something. Every moment, it's a chance for me to keep moving forward, closer and closer to Baba. Let's just be there. From this sacred vibration, I can think of where I'm going to go after this, with whom I may share the next moments, but knowing that it's no more about doing, but about being, because I love myself, because Baba loves me so much, so much. And his appreciation is not because of what I'm doing, but how I am. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, dear Sister Martha. It was wonderful. I felt like a real time management course. Not only a talk, but a real course. You just touched every important details, how we can manage it in a worthwhile way, and while doing this, how we can keep our honor and our self-respect, our value. I love it, really. Thank you so much. And let me see if we have any questions in our chat box. Somebody asked if you can just maybe a little explore the loving yourself. What does it really mean, loving yourself?
When I think about that, because I've seen some souls that are, how do you say that in English? Sabotage? If there's been a bad experience regarding love in the past, that may have created like a protection, extra protection, to the extent that they may think very difficult even to love themselves. Especially when there's been something that perhaps you feel guilty about it, or you don't like about yourself, or you feel that you are not able to move forward because you have that strong sanskar, whatever it may be, then perhaps all that energy drowns you, and even if it's difficult for you to feel Baba's love, and just Baba is there, and any Murli, especially in the latest Abhyakt Murlis, we've been seeing how Baba just keeps loving and loving, no matter what has happened. His love is always there. So what is it that may be inside, so that we can't experience not only his love, but that I don't feel this love for myself? But I think it's also a question of experiment. Just try to experiment what Baba says about you. So you are so loving, and why is it that I suppress that love? And again, it's not about taking love from the outside, but that connect with the love that is in the soul. The soul is loving in its nature. Then let me just connect from that subtlety, from that inner silent, connect with peace, but also connect with love. And I think it's good to write. It helps me a lot to write. So find, for example, something at night for what you are grateful from that day. This happened, this, I met that person, or I had this experience, or whatever. So I think that love and being grateful is very much connected. When you are grateful, you are connecting also with the good wishes. And okay, it's like being aware that it's not so complicated. Just love from within, and then it's just being there, being you. When we don't love ourselves, it's because I am not in connection with what I am. Then Baba keeps saying, you are a soul, you are a soul, you are a peaceful soul. But am I experiencing soul consciousness? I know the theory that I am not this body, blah, blah, blah. All that we know, but when we see ourselves and we experience the soul we are, then yes, many things have happened in the past, many things. But the more I experience soul consciousness, then the more I connect with the true nature that is there, that is in me. And then I will be loving myself in even, when someone does something good and you say, oh, I loved what you said, or thank you for being like that, or how hard am I with myself, and how loving am I with myself? So if I am too strict with myself, then I will not be able to love myself. Yes, it's good to improve, but from a different perspective. I also think that we need to think less and less, and just what is really useful and what is good, and appreciate the changes we do, right? All of us, whomever may be here listening, all of us, we've changed. I'm sure we all have changed. So let me see myself from that changed position. Say, okay, thank you. But not only thank you, Baba, thank you myself for allowing me to be changed. And there are so many good reasons to love yourself. Think about it. And then when you love yourself, you love more yourself. Then it's more easy to forgive yourself because you understand yourself more. But for this, we need to give to ourselves quality time. Quality time. It's not about lots of time. I've seen some saying, I need 3 months, not doing anything, no service, nothing. I just need to be with myself. Okay. And after 3 months, they come back. Oh, you know, I didn't know much how to do. So it's all together. It's how happy we should be with the life we have, with the understanding we have, with the clarity we have. If we were lost and we found ourselves, Baba found us, right? Is this not a good reason to love yourself?
There is one comment on this. Self-love is the door to connect with Baba.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Self-love is the door to connect with Baba. Is that right? Somebody is asking.
Yes, it
Just
is
a
right.
comment.
Yes, yes, yes. Very good.
I have one question because there is no more. I don't see any. This is about, the habit of some people, too much talking. When they are trying to talk about something or telling something, they have a lot of expansion. So, and then sometimes those things are not interest us or related to us, and we need to be there to listen. We might think that, it's part of my service, it's my duty to soul, but how can we just use our time and self-respect and to just manage this conversation in a polite way? Because I feel like, keep listening to such unnecessary things and too long is also not managing my self-respect and managing my value.
Right.
So can you just explore this, please?
Yes. And again, it's a way of not loving myself. If I put myself in those type of conversations, I may not put myself in those conversations, but somehow I am part of that. And it's difficult to give an answer in general because everything is quite different. But there are certain moments when I can say that, okay, for example, let's create like a summary. If it was like a meeting at the work or for service, or okay, so what we've said so far is this, and sometimes it's not that you can summarize like that because it's just like an expansion. But also find a way, okay, perhaps this is what we had to say. What do you think if we could just finish here, or is there any other thing that I could help you? And I've seen that certain people talk about different external things, but what really happens is that that particular soul is in need. It's not about what that one is saying, but how is she or he. Then if you perhaps just create a question, connect it to that particular soul. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, I understand. And how are you? How are you? Talking about you, not about the facts, but about you. Perhaps there will be change in that conversation. And yes, there may be some situations in which you could say, okay, you know, I really have to go, or I know it's cutting in that way, and it's not always possible to do that. But as you said, it's a question of self-respect. It's a question of self-respect. I remember long back, there was someone that whenever that person would call, it was nearly 1 hour on the phone, even more. And I realized I don't want to do this. I want to give time, but I don't want to do this. And then that particular soul became ill, seriously ill. And I really would like, had this sort of wanting to be there and to help and phones every now and then. But again, so much. Then once I said, you know, I really appreciate you. And whenever we meet, why don't we meet in silence and just meditate, because that person also meditates. So do you think it's okay to do that? I would come, I would visit you, and we would talk just a few minutes, and then let's sit in remembrance. And then she became like that. Yes, yes, of course. And when I left, she said, thank you for coming. And we had not even talked more than 5 minutes. But I think it's an art, actually. It's an art to know how to manage this type of conversations, especially when it comes that afterwards, after a while, it's about gossiping, or I'm not interested at all in that. But also this has to do with the last Sunday Murli. Oh yes. Oh, and you know, and you are agreeing to whatever the other one is saying. So we have a good training by God Himself.
Definitely. I think this type of conversation, managing them, is really, what you're saying, as an art. And it needs a lot of experience, I guess. Is that right?
Yes. And I've made many mistakes regarding that, because for some, it's really important what they have to say. And we need to, you know, the more self-conscious we are when talking to someone, we would be able to, of course, we don't catch the thoughts, but we can catch the feelings.
Yeah.
And also we can, through our vibration, this is what we should be doing, that through our vibration, the other one also enters in that positive atmosphere, spiritual atmosphere. So we are all learning in all this.
Yes,
and we are all learning
definitely.
in loving ourselves, in managing better our time.
And what you are saying is so important, because if we are soul conscious, then they can feel those vibrations. But otherwise, if we are body conscious and just have a thought that, oh, they are talking too much or taking my time and I'm not interested. So they also catch these vibrations, and it has a completely opposite impact on them.
Right. Right.
And not, making the things right, but worse.
Exactly.
So it's really an art. Thank you so much.